Hello and welcome to another part of Titan's Guide. In today's video, we're going to be covering the Daspletosaurus. What you can expect from this video is multiple Dasp builds, a small PvP tutorial, survival tips and more. I really hope you enjoy and please consider subscribing. So you're ready to make your Dasp? Okay, let's start. For the subspecies, I recommend balanced, but speed also works. I wouldn't go for defense though. And upon spawning in, you'll notice you have a very obnoxious skin. It's a bright green, but it's not a green where you can blend in. You're fast though, so use that to your advantage. You can run away, you just can't hide. And you take medium full damage. You can throw yourself off a cliff, but just don't do it twice. Once you hit adolescent, you'll notice you have pretty much every ability slot unlocked. So you know what that means? It's time for the build. Okay, to start we're going to be using bite and heavy bite. There are many combinations of head abilities, so don't leave me a hate comment just yet. I cover many more builds after I show this build. So we're going to equip the Carnage Sense. And you might be thinking, why would I do this? I play on a server with a body down rule. It works even on a server with a body down rule. Because think about it, right? If you're sitting on a body, you have the Carnage buff. What if something comes up and challenges you? Then you're fighting for that body with a buff. And if you're not playing on a server with body down rules, then it's even better. Next we're going to be equipping Tough Scoots. Now you might be one of those players who really just wants to equip the Slick Hide, or the hide where you can't get grappled. I don't really remember what it's called. But you don't want to be falling into that trap. Yes, Latins are annoying, Dinons are annoying, but as soon as you figure out how to counter them, and it's just by positioning yourself nicely in some good terrain, using your abilities well, understanding your ability coverage, you'll be able to fight them a whole lot better and you won't need to sacrifice such an important ability slot such as hide. Now traction, and I know traction doesn't really make much sense on Dasp because traction is often used to tail ride and you don't tail ride as Dasp, but it's actually really helpful because if you're using certain builds like the one we're using right now, you need to be able to flick your bite around, you need to be able to turn fast to catch your opponent off guard with your heavy attacks. This is where traction is really helpful. Now for the tail slot, I personally like tail attack. I know balanced tail has become meta on most dinos, but honestly, I think having a tail attack to disengage with is really helpful. I'll show you an example of what I mean. It's just mainly after a heavy bite. Like this, look, I go in for a heavy bite and I disengage with a tail attack. Now Tyrant Roar is insane. If you're in a big group of Dasps and you all stack this cool up and then do heavy bites or piercing bites, you are gonna rip your opponent to shreds. So here is the finished build. This is the build I run, but there are many more builds, like this one, an Apex Slayer build for group players. This is what you want to be using if you are only targeting Apex in a group of 3 or 4 or more Dasps. Or maybe this build, an Apex Slayer build for solo players. This is a build where you just bone break the Apex, do a couple heavy bites and then stack another bone break on. It's really effective. Now this is for all the new players out there who are just looking to survive and not PvP at all. The speed hide and the long distance runner will help you run away, especially paired with the speed subspecies, and if you find yourself cornered, the bone break will help you stop them in their tracks and then you can run off into the woods or something and hide. Okay, you're almost done making your Dasp. All you need is a nice camouflage skin. This is Dragon. It's a desert themed skin. It's got some nice browns, oranges, blacks. Did you see the Dasp in the bush there? I definitely didn't. It blends in so well. It's really, really nice. Next we've got Torrent. It's a greeny, forest, jungly kind of skin. It's just green. That's all there is to it. It blends really nicely in areas like Birch Woods, Titan's Pass, Grand Plains, White Cliffs, anywhere where there's green. And finally we have Osprey. It's a woodland skin, so it's got greens and browns, maybe a bit of grey. It goes really nicely in areas like Dark Woods, Whistling Columns, even places like Young Grove. Okay, now it's time for a PvP tutorial. Here I'm going to be fighting a Styrak. First thing I do is instantly try and land a heavy bite. That's going to be our strat here. Go in for a heavy bite and then disengage with the tail attack and then just wait for the cooldown. I do a really nice precise movement heavy bite right there, land a clean shot on the body that's going to be doing massive damage. I try it again but didn't land it that time, but we're defended with the tail attack. I try it again, apparently I'm just stupid, but once again, tail attack comes in clutch, I still land damage. I'm able to quickly run onto him with a heavy bite and then I disengage with a tail attack. That's 2 sets of damage. I go in for another one, and this is just how we're going to be playing. You go for a heavy bite and then turn out with traction paired with tail attack. You land a hit no matter what because you're always going to hit that tail attack. I hit him with just a regular bite there to stack on the damage because I knew I wasn't going to land the heavy bite. I land the final heavy bite and that's it, he's dead. GG. Okay, let's talk about things to avoid. First off is playing solo. You can do it and you can survive, but Dasp's power scales so much when in a group. Like it's ridiculous how strong Dasp groups are. And now let's talk about Dasp counters. So for carnivores, we have Dilo, Yang, Dime, Alio, Leighton and Meg. Anything that's small and fast. So Leighton, Meg, Dime, Dilo and Alio. And then Yang is just so strong because it's fast, but it's also ridiculously overtuned, if I'm being honest. And for herbivores, I think only Kentro actually hard counters Dasp just because it's small, fast, and it does crazy bleed. So let's talk about terrain you should avoid. Any kind of mountains or rocky edge. Like for this situation, you'd want to hunt down here instead of up there, because Dasp is fast, and if you get a bit of momentum going while chasing something, and then you fall off a cliff, you might not be able to stop in time, and then you're dead. But with that being said, and everything you now know, I think you're ready to go and survive on your Dasp. I wish you good luck. If you found this guide useful or helpful or even entertaining, please consider liking and subscribing as it really helps me out. Thank you and goodbye.